Good morning, everyone. I am pumped up for this one. I say that every week, don't I? No, I'm pumped up for this week's webinar. I'm so excited. I love teaching you guys new things that I learn about AI. We had so much stuff this week that came out. I couldn't even put it in this webinar because, I mean, we plan these things weeks in advance. But oh my goodness, some massive new things came out this past week. I'll give you one little hint because we're not going to go through it today, but some of you tried our AI studio for building websites and apps over the last few weeks. Well, that got a massive upgrade yesterday. Now, instead of having to type what you want changed by the AI, now you can actually, like, there's a little button you can point and click and then make the actual edits yourself instead of waiting for the AI to do it. So if you see something, you're like, oh, I want the text to say this. Instead of telling the AI to do it, now you can point and click edit. So if you guys are using JourneyBuilder, I know Amy's on here and she's using it. I think a few others are using it. Like, my goodness, guys, the point and click. If I have time today, I'll show it to you at the end, right? So welcome to this week's AI workshop. My name is Jay Vix, Jay the AI guy. I put up a poll. This is a new thing that I can do in StreamYard now that I didn't even know. And this is really cool. By the way, Avanice, thank you for inviting Clovis. And I love that. Thank you for sharing people sharing this event with others. If you guys have an email list or you know other businesses and you're like, you guys need to be on Jay's workshops, please invite them. Thank you. And Avanice and Clovis, I'm more than happy and thrilled if you guys want to set something up in, Antigua, Barbuda, St. Kitts, sure. Like, look, I'll make the supreme sacrifice to go teach people AI there. Like, I know it'll be really hard. I know it'll be really tough, and it's like there's better places to go. Yeah, right. Okay. Okay. So if you want to vote on the poll, this is a new thing. Oh, Amy, thank you for having Marion come on here also. Yeah, all you have to do is put a number in the comment. Jocelyn put in the number 3. And that'll vote. So your favorite AI tool to learn and use in your business to this point, out of these, Gemini, Claude, Notebook LM, or other. I'll come back to the others later. Yeah, Avanice, yes, awesome. Yeah, there you go. See, it's updating in real time. How much fun is this, guys? I love this. I absolutely love it. Yeah, drop it in the comments. 1, 2, 3, or 4 for other. If you're like Gemini, Claude, Notebook LM, come on. I love ChatGPT. Put a 4. Put a 4. I don't love ChatGPT. Yeah, Gemini and Notebook LM. So Google is winning the day in this poll, right? Yeah, all of them are really cool. This was kind of a trick question. I love all of these tools. And as a matter of fact, I almost made 4 Perplexity because we are using Perplexity, Notebook LM, Claude, and Gemini today on this workshop. So again, welcome to the workshop. Thank you for sharing this. Thank you for inviting people. David, welcome. Yeah, if we're using all 4, right? We're using more than these 3, right? So we're going to be using them all today. Really, really, really cool stuff. So we're going to get started. I've got a lot to cover. And my goal at the end of these next 75-ish minutes is that you guys will have a framework that you can use every week that will allow you to post relevant, newsworthy, current, top of mind, top of funnel, very, very direct content for your target audience. So I want you to be thinking about, who is my target audience? Because one of the things that I see is we put out a lot of content that we want others to see about us. And we don't always put out content that the reader, that our audience wants to learn about, right? So when you're thinking of things, when you're thinking of content, think of it in terms of selflessly. What's going to get my audience's eyeballs? What's going to capture their interest? Right. So, I mean, here's the thing. This is why I'm doing this workshop this week. Every single week I talk to business owners. I'm in networking groups. I'm on Alignable. I'm the ambassador for Alignable for the Triad. I'm all over the place. And the number one thing that I always hear is like, I know I should be doing more content. I know I need to post more. I know I need to create more, but I'm just, I don't have the time. It's just not my thing. I'm not very good at it. I get it. You're running your business. We don't all have, I certainly don't have any type of like art or graphic design or copywriting degrees, right? We've all been using social media for roughly the same amount of time, some more, some less. Okay. You got to run a business. You're not a content machine. So I'm going to show you a simple way to kind of incorporate this content machine into your business. It's called an assembly line, right? So I like, think about that for a minute. What if you had like a real assembly line? That's what I want to look at it like today. And all the tools that we're going to show you are free. They do have paid plans. If you're going to do it for clients, or if you're going to get real serious about it, you might want to do a paid plan, but everything we show you is free. Here's another thing. You can have a remote employee or a virtual assistant run this process for you, right? I'm trying to move away from the term virtual assistant because people ask me, is it real human or is it AI, right? And so I'm trying to get away from the VA terminology. There's some really great human VAs. We have Dee, who's on here all the time, every week. Tremendous, right? She's a tremendous assistant. And I like calling people, I heard this from a friend of mine this week, so I am stealing it. Remote team member, RTM, remote team member, right? It sounds so much better than just a VA, because people think VA, they think AI these days. It's just going that way. So what if you had this real assembly line? Like, I don't mean just using ChatGPT to write stuff, right? Because anybody does that, and we've all done that. And then we're like, oh, that was cute. Okay, let's go back to the real work, right? This is a 4-station repeatable system that takes any content task you have, social media, strategy, email, blog post, whatever, web page, and cranks out a finished deliverable in under an hour. So that's what we're going to do today, live right now, ready to build. Let's go. Okay. First, let me check the comments, see who's here. Thank you. Oh, D, yes, absolutely. This is recorded. Nishant, yes, this is recorded. I met Nishant on a Alignable Smart Connect the other day. All of our weeklies are recorded. That doesn't mean you should leave right now, but it does mean that if you have to go early, it's okay. You can come back and watch it later. Heather will get the replays out later today. Love trying to interact with you guys. Keep the votes coming. I might have to pull that down for a little bit, just so my screen share is good. I might pull the poll down for just a little bit. I can always put it back up later. I did get a first question. For the pro version of Claude, should you download for Windows? Yeah, why not? Yeah, I mean, Claude for Windows is actually pretty cool. You can use Claude Code. You can use Claude Cowork, right? But you got to have the desktop version. I have it. I use it. And sometimes I have the desktop version open and the browser version open, and then the browser version open on another machine. I oftentimes I'm running multiple Claude things. So I've been starting to use Cowork. Speaking of, Sarah, you didn't know this, but you gave me the perfect segue. The ultimate segue was just given unintentionally by Sarah Arnett in the comments. Next week's webinar, next Friday, we're going a little deeper into Claude. I'm going to show you some of those things that you're like, Jay, you keep raving about Claude, but I use it like ChatGPT, right? Oh, you're so funny. Yeah, you don't need to use it like ChatGPT. I'm going to show you some of the, we're going to talk about projects. We're going to talk about artifacts. We're going to talk about these things inside of Claude. It's not going to be an advanced level, comprehensive, underbelly of Claude. We're just going to show you, like, how do we use it the right way? Like, could we use projects for our clients? Could we use, how do we use and share artifacts, right? So Yeah. So that's next week's webinar. We are going to go deeper into Claude. I'm going to work with Claude today, just as I work with it almost every week on these. But here we go. All right. Love Claude. Yes, love Claude. All right. Let me hide this poll. This is a new thing, the poll. All right. Claude did a great statement of work. I need to. Oh, yeah. Yeah. All right. Let me hide the poll for a minute. I'll keep it open inside of here, but I'm going to close it on the screen. All right. And then I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to go to our first tool for the day, which, as you guys know, and I've shared this in the past, is Perplexity. And let me do this so I don't get yelled at by RC. Okay, it makes it a little bigger for you guys. Wow, all right. Got a lot of people on today. All right, so here's the thing. The thing I want to talk about today is we're going to be chaining some AI tools together, right? We're talking about Perplexity, okay? And then Notebook LM, and then Claude and Gemini, right? Now, here's the reason. Each AI tool has a distinct superpower, okay? And I'm going to kind of give you guys some analogies as to why that's important in just a few minutes. But the first tool that we're going to use today is Perplexity. Now, I have a pro account. You don't need a pro account. You can just use a regular free account. But what Perplexity does is it gives us real-time web research. And not only does it give us real-time web research, it gives us citations. If you guys remember a few weeks ago, I was talking about when the barge, the tanker shipping barge in Baltimore hit that bridge and took down the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore. I started using Perplexity, and I went right to Perplexity because I wanted to see how relevant, how much does it know about current news? That's what everybody's raving about. And boom, I got an entire 30 source briefing on what happened. Right? I thought it was really, really cool. So Perplexity is for real-time research with citations. I want to know where they're getting their information from. Notebook LM, if you guys have been around for a while, and I think by the poll results, you guys know that is the tool that we are building our entire business around right now with our brain in a box. We've done courses on Notebook LM, and we're building a software that can help you document everything in your business. By the way, I have beta codes available. Today is the first day. I've only given one out. I'll be giving you guys beta codes if you want that later. I'll talk to you about that later. But organizing, synthesizing, and generating from your sources is Notebook LM, right? And it can create content. So think of it as an answer engine and a content engine. I'll share it with you guys in just a few minutes. We'll go through the whole thing. Claude for structured, strategic, long-term writing and thinking. It's great for your strategy. It is your strategy partner. It is your chief marketing officer, chief operating officer, technical officer. It's all your executives in strategy if you give it the right basis to work from. And then Gemini. I love Gemini for the visuals. I really do. Gemini is our image and video creation tool, and it's Google. It's great. So if we just ask one AI to research and organize and write and design, it's going to kind of be mediocre at all four, right? But it'll be really good in one. So specialization wins, which is why we're doing it this way. It's the same reason you don't hire one person to do every job. Now, raise your hand if you've ever felt like you were hired and you do every job, right? Ask anybody who's working for themselves now, who worked in corporate America, that is an entrepreneur, and you've often felt, I do everything around this place, right? Okay, good. That's why we're here. But I'm sure that specialists would have been better, right? The handoff is everything. So each step produces a clean input for the next step. And this is the secret that most people miss. A lot of people are like, why can't I just do it all in Claude or Manus or ChatGPT? You can, but don't miss this secret. Think of it like a restaurant kitchen, right? Inside of a restaurant kitchen, you've got a prep cook, you've got a line cook, you've got the plating station, you've got the expediter, right? Each one does their part perfectly and hands it off. And that's really what we're going to build. So by the end, you're going to have an actual 2026 social media strategy built live in front of you that you can take and use. So let's meet our crew, right? Perplexity is our research station, right? We're going to get some real data here. So this is our interface here, and you can use it just like you would chat or Gemini. I'm going to come back and peek at the comments too. Oh, Amy said she's changing it to 4. That's funny. So, oh, by the way, also, the PDF resource for today's webinar has been dropped in the comments as well. I'm sure you're seeing that now. Every week we try to give a quick start guide or a resource. RC just posted that in the chat for you guys. So feel free to go grab that PDF if you want to kind of follow along. Or also if you want to do this after I'm done talking so that you're not trying to build it in real time. All right. Here's the way we're going to use Perplexity today. Now, I am going to change my stride a little bit. I'm going to type in a prompt that I built for this workshop in my preparation. And I want you guys to tell me and give me some audiences that we want to write for. Maybe there's an audience that we can come up with. Put it in the comments. I want to try to create some content instead of just doing small businesses. Maybe we can do one on a type of audience for a type of business. Just thinking about it. I don't want to change gears too quickly. Maybe we'll just stick with this. But the top social media marketing trends and best practices for small businesses. If you guys are B2B, this would be a good topic. But if you're B2C, you work directly with consumers, we might be able to come up with something better. But if you guys have something, you can put it in the comments. Otherwise, we'll just go with this. Maybe this is good for demonstration purposes. What I would say is you're going to want to say like, okay, ooh, wait a minute. Women navigating midlife. Okay. You know what, Amy? Let's go with that. Let's go with that, audience. I know if you guys might not love that because it's very niche. Or niche, depending on how you say it. Although I've tried to say the riches and the niches, and it works great. The riches and the niches doesn't sound as good. So, okay, here we go. C-level executives for status reports, initial sales pitches. Okay. Yeah, let's we can do either, and you guys should do this on your own. But let's see this. Let's see. What are the top ways that women can navigate midlife issues in 2026. Let's say this. Let's say include current research and articles that we can use to turn into great social media content to help this audience. Okay, since we're going to do this in real time. Yep, Craig, your suggestions are great. Amy was just first. So you should do that though. But I would say if your audiences are C-level executives, right? Hey, Matt, you didn't miss too much yet. Welcome, buddy. I'm glad you're just coming on. You're on our first tool of the day, which is Perplexity, where we're going to get some new news and updated information and really good sources research. So welcome. Yeah, and Craig, it's good if you can find out like for concierge medical practices, if you're targeting C-level executives, right? I would say give me some reports about what's going on in the concierge medical practice world, what's going on, or give me the top trends or news that would be most impactful for a C-level executive to read. Most interest, current, right? And oh yeah, okay, here you go. Make sure the sources for Amy are based on medical research, right? Oh yeah, absolutely. Current medical research. All right. Now the cool thing about Perplexity is it's going to give us the citations, right? So we're gonna talk about like menopause and perimenopause today. It's great, right? That's exactly what I wanted to do on my Friday morning. That's how much I love you guys and how much Amy is amazing. Okay, so here we go. All right, let me go back over here while this is doing its thing. All right, what we're gonna do. So you're noticing right now that it's actually going through midlife, mental health, nutrition, social connection, pulling in lots of different insights. It's working right now. And when the answers come up, you're going to see a couple of really cool things here. It's going to have citations. Here we go. Here comes our guide, right? It's creating a guide for 2026. Okay. And you're going to see in here, this one is some certainty news, but let's go to full report. So this is from Mass General Brigham Hospital, right? So you're seeing the sources that are coming from. PDR drug update. Here's some social media content ideas, which we're not even going to really use that. I kind of told it that, but that's okay. This is all good stuff, right? So it's given us a whole bunch of stuff. Like this is a full report here, right? So we're going to let it keep doing it. But what I want to also point out, because we're going to copy this, what I want to point out here is that you'll notice at the bottom, there's some like narrowing questions, right? It's called the follow-up feature. You'll see down here, if you can, focus on 2024 to 2026 medical studies only. Compare benefits versus risks of GLP-1s for menopause. Create 5 social posts with citations. So it's taken this and it's saying what you could do. So let's see if we can get this finished. And this is a deep dive. I think I put deep research. I had deep research in here. I don't think I wanted to do deep research, although it's not going to hurt us. If anything, it's going to help. Okay. It's just going to take a little bit longer to run. All right. We are getting a full overview. A full overview. All right, I'm gonna come back and check for comments and questions. Avanice is like, LOL. Yeah, this is good. And I don't know if the free plan has deep research. I don't know. I just made a mistake, guys. I clicked deep research. I didn't really want to do that, but it's okay. Oh man, here we go. Keep going. Keep going. All right. I could stop it and just take everything here, but we'll keep going. There we go. I think it's done. I think it finished. Okay. Got this full report. Look how long this thing is just from that little question. Okay. And you can see Body Logic MD, Sydney.edu, journals.plos, Miracare, certainty. Okay. So now what I want to do, I'm going to copy. If you go, if I collapse this, we'll see up here at the top. Okay, I can copy the contents of this. You can also download it for a PDF, a Google or Word doc. You can just send it right to Google Drive if you have that connected. Markdown, which is the type of file I really like. AI reads that really well. Markdown files are great for things like Notebook LM, which is where we're going to put it. But instead of downloading it and uploading it just for time's sake, I'm just going to copy the contents of this entire guide. Okay. So now the whole reason I started with Perplexity was because of the citations. Every claim has a source. So when you're building a strategy for a client or for your own business, you want your foundation grounded in real data, right? And that's what Perplexity is pulling. So now we're going to hand it off to station 2, but I want to preface this with something. You can also do this in station 2 Notebook LM, right? When we go over to Notebook LM, and I've got it copied. I'm going to go to Notebook LM real quick. All right. I opened up a new notebook inside of Notebook LM, and we're going to talk about this midlife women. Right. Okay. Now, you do in Notebook LM have the ability to search the web for new sources with deep research and get citations and do similar to what Perplexity has given us. I will say that in my comparisons of the two, I do like the results and the way that Perplexity synthesizes the information. All right. However, Google is really good, right? So don't be afraid. If you guys are looking at this and you're like, I don't really want to use Perplexity, can I just start with Notebook LM? You can. You can. I don't want to tell you you can't. You could start with Notebook LM and trim this down to just a couple of different tools. I just happen to really like the way Perplexity brings it up. I know that it's current and up to date, a little bit faster than Google. I think there is still a cutoff date with Gemini that isn't like an hour ago or yesterday or whatever it is. So I still would recommend Perplexity in this assembly line, but it's okay if you don't want to use Perplexity. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We want to add a source. Now, the thing I love about Notebook LM, if this is your first time joining us, it is my heart and soul and thing I'm building my entire business around. Well, my business is built on JourneyBuilder, which is our software, but for building out the AI knowledge that your company needs to run, I've got an entire framework, a course, a software tool, web app that is all built around building out notebooks in Notebook LM, which makes up your knowledge base for your business. Okay. So I love this tool. Now, I love this tool because it's also grounded in your own sources. So as long as we don't search the web for new sources here, this will be grounded in your own sources. So it's only going to search what we give it in our sources. And what I mean by that is I'm going to add a source and I'm going to insert copied text, and I'm going to paste all that text from Perplexity right in here. And now this is my source. Okay. So here's our overview of the so many pages that we just gave it. This is the only source that I'm going to use, okay, for this topic inside of Notebook LM. So it's not, when I start typing here to ask a question, it's only going to refer to this one source. It's called source grounding. And I'm a big believer with AI that if you put in stuff from anywhere on the web, like if you just search the web and again, you're going to want to have your own sources, but if you just find an article, you're going to want to just use that for your answer engine. Okay. If you're using things in your own company brain, by the way, this stuff would go in a research notebook. If you're using my 6 notebook strategy, this would go in the research notebook. It can also go into the marketing notebook, but I would use this for research. You can still create marketing content from this, and I'll show you what I mean by that right now. All right. So I copied the full research output into here. Okay. And now we're going to just, you can also drill down here, but what we're going to do, instead of querying and asking questions in here, we're going to just have it create some content for us. Okay. So we can say, based on this article here, we're going to create a infographic. All right. Now, by the way, let me back up. If you guys haven't been watching the Notebook LM workshop, the ones that I did in the past or anytime I've talked about this, one new thing that I've been recommending to everybody, come out of here, inside your sources, if you have a brand style guide or a brand guide or your colors or your logo, or, well, logo is not always going to work, but no, you could upload your logo. If you have like a brand style guide, you're going to want to upload that as a source as well. All right. So as much as you can give it, because when you go to create an infographic and you add that, you could tell it to, right here, use the information from my style guide to create the content, right? So where it says describe the infographic you want to create, you can give it all your company styles. Make sense? So right now we're going to do, we're just going to do a professional infographic. I'm not going to really go into all of that. Actually, you know what? Be for a social media post. And you can create as many of these as you want. So you can create multiple, and it'll create different ones based on the different content. You can also say, I want this infographic to focus on this piece of content. This one to focus on this other topic. So you could break it out by topics and create multiple infographics. Now you're getting extra content in your assembly line. And this is only step 2. We still got more to do in our assembly line to get really good stuff, but this is just a few. I'm also going to do an audio overview of this. We're going to do just a, we could do a deep dive. We could do a short deep dive though. Okay. I'm going to generate that. You can also generate a slide deck based on this table, a data table, quiz, reports. So this is just some quick ways that we can output some content really, really quickly while we're still in our assembly line. You can also search and get some answers. So maybe you could say, how are new treatments and technologies reshaping menopause management in 2026, right? And it's going to look through this one source. It's not going out and searching the web, just this one source. And it's going to give us some answers. And while it does, I'll come back and see how we're doing over here. Can we export the brand palette from Canva? Avanice, that's a good question. If you can export it, and it's a file that Notebook LM will read, then yes. And those files for sources can be, here you go. It's right here. So PDF, text, MD, which is Markdown, DocX, CSV, PowerPoint, EPUB, and then a whole bunch of others, M4, MP4, MP3s, all the different pictures and JPEGs. So yes, if you can do it, boom, right? Yeah. So Nishant, yeah, you can use ChatGPT if you want the generic of the generic. I can show you some examples. I wouldn't use it for this. I wouldn't. I can give you a bunch of reasons why I wouldn't. But I mean, you could use, like I said in the beginning, you can use ChatGPT. ChatGPT is not trained up until yesterday. Now, their newest model might be trained up until yesterday. I don't believe 5.5 has everything. I still think it's a few months behind on current news and current research. And they don't give citations. ChatGPT does tend to hallucinate. So also it's not going to do, it's like, it's not specialized for the task. So I leave it out of a lot of my lists. I don't really love it. I don't think it's a very good tool. And let's see. Matt says huge Perplexity fan. Plus you can choose so many different models. That's true. So going back to Perplexity, you can choose, Claude, Gemini, Perplexity's got their own models. Lots of different models you can choose. I always just choose best, right? Use the best model. And then if you can't export the brand palette, could you not reference a source such as your website that displays the palette? You could also put your website as a source, right? But I would at least, if you can't get the brand palette, I would at least put in your color codes, maybe upload your logo, maybe some fonts that you prefer, right? So that would help you. All right. So here we go. So in 2026, menopause management is undergoing a massive transformation. Here's some breakthroughs, right? So this is one cool thing that I've also done here. I can come in here and you can actually save an answer that Notebook LM gives you to a note. Okay. What that does is it moves this note over here. Now, this is really cool. Now, we know that this information is already in the master source. But check this out. When you make it a note and you click on the 3 dots, you can now convert just this piece to a source. Okay. And you're like, well, why would I do that? I already have the source. It's under the main source. Watch this. If I convert this to a source, the modern renaissance, right, of menopause, now, if I want to create something just on this note, right, which was the treatments and technologies for menopause management, I can unselect the master source. So I've only got this one source selected, and now I can create an infographic on just that one source. So it's going to build a specific infographic just based on this little piece of the whole. Does that make sense? So you guys can break it down and create more content based on little bits of your overall brief. Is everybody's head exploding based on that? Do I need to repeat what I just said? Because that is big. All right. Query, get your answer engine, ask it questions based on your big source, and then turn those answers into mini sources that are more specific to what you want to show. Okay. All right. So this is still generating, and that's okay, because this is pretty much, I'm going to come back to this and show you what we're going to do with that stuff in just a minute. But what we're going to do next is we're going to move on to the third tool, which is Claude, my favorite. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. So by the way, I have in here for Notebook LM, dump in your perplexity research, what we did, bring in a brand guidelines doc, right? If you have a document about your brand guidelines, you can also paste in some of your existing social media content into Notebook LM, right? This is kind of the dump everything in step. Perplexity gave us the industry data. Now we're adding the brand context, who it's for, who it is, who you are, everything about you, right? So that's good. And then here's one more thing that we're going to do here. We are going to create from the master source. Okay. We're going to create a report, and we're going to create a briefing doc. Right? This is an overview of all of our sources featuring key insights and quotes. You can even edit what you want, but I think the main one is good. If you guys haven't seen these reports inside here, there's different formats you can do of your content. You can create your own. I like a briefing doc for this, right? So it's going to create a briefing doc, and this is what we're going to send over to Claude. So I'm hoping that some of these will load pretty quickly, but the briefing doc usually finishes very, very fast. Let me see if there's any comments. Amy's loving this. I'm going to put that on the screen. Amy loves this. While we're waiting for some content to finish, I'm going to go ahead. If you joined us late, I'm going to put our poll back up. So since you started playing with AI, I don't mean today. There we go. What's your favorite AI tool to use? Is it Gemini? Is it Claude? Is it Notebook LM? Or is it something else? Now, something else is at 14%. I would love to know what that is, but all you have to do is drop the number into the comments. So the comment section that you got on your screen, just put a 1, a 2, a 3, or a 4. Right? I'm going to come back to the 4s. I want to see what all the 4s were at the end. But drop a 1, 2, 3, or 4. And yeah. And try to make sure that you haven't voted already, but there we go. All right, cool. So Sarah says, when you save a note, is there a way to make it a document to save on your computer? Here you go. Export to docs, export to sheets. You can convert all your notes to a source. Okay. John Bennett, hello. Brittany, good to see you. Or not see you really, but you know what I mean. Good to know that you're here. Yeah, so you can export it to docs, sheets. Okay, Sarah, so that should help you. You can convert it to source and then all your notes too. You can delete them as well if you don't want them. So I hope that helps. Justin, welcome. Glad you're on too. Oh, Brittany, thank you. Ditto. All right, cool. All right, so Avani says Canva does not allow us to export brand palette, so I guess Color Ninja would be helpful to get the color codes. Yeah, I'm not familiar with Color Ninja, but I'm assuming you click on it and it will give you the codes. I have one called Colorzilla in it's a browser extension that I can click on an element and get the color of it. So yeah, if you have something like that, you can get the color codes and then just put it in a document, right, that you can use. Marina, I use Gemini, is great for flyer creating images. Good, Marina, you're ahead of the game, because that is going to be number 4 after Claude. That is our fourth step in this assembly line process, right? Now I'm describing a lot, but you guys would be way ahead of me here if I wasn't. But I'm going to refresh my screen. I don't know if some of these have actually been generated or if we're just going really, really slow. There we go. Now they're all done. I just needed to refresh my screen. So I'm going to come back to the infographics and the audio overview in just a minute, when I come back to grab all of our content that we're going to use to post on social and blogs and everything. I'm just going to grab our briefing doc. Okay. So I'm going to open up our briefing doc and I'm going to copy it. You can copy it with the formatting with this little icon up in the upper right corner. Oh, you can't see it because I got the poll still there. Let me hide the poll again. There we go. So right up in the upper right corner, we're going to copy the content from our report. All right. And now we're going to go to the Mac Daddy of them all. Come over here. I'm going to open a new chat. And we are going to go to my best friend in the whole wide AI world. Google shouldn't be mad or jealous of that. Claude. Claude is my research strategy and partner, and he is always so kind. Sometimes he tells me it's time for coffee. Sometimes he just wishes me happy Friday. But I love Claude. All right. Now, what we're going to do is, and next week, if you guys missed the announcement, next week, I'm doing a little bit more of a deep dive on Claude. It's not really like a senior level, like, like an entire in-depth, I'm going to teach you how to build apps in Claude Code or anything. It's going to be more of like that 102 level. We've talked about Claude a lot on just like a chat level, but we're going to go into some things like creating projects and artifacts and what that looks like and what else you can do and how to connect certain things. That's all next week. All right. But right now we're going to take our briefing doc that we've copied. Okay. Because let me also say the briefing doc that we got from Notebook LM, it's pure gold because it's not just a summary. It actually cites all the sources that each point came from. So if you have your business docs in Notebook LM, it's going to pull from those too. Right. So it's the document that's going into Claude. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to come back down to Claude. And what we're going to do is we're going to paste the briefing doc in here. Now you'll see it won't do it in a long chat. Usually if it's long enough, it just brings it in as like kind of a document itself. Okay. And what we're going to say, I'm going to copy and paste this prompt, but we are going to tweak it a little bit. Okay. You're a social media strategist for a small business that helps midlife women with health-related issues. Okay. That could be mental, physical, just health-related issues. Using the research brief, write 5 highly structured social media posts for a 2026 social media strategy campaign. Each post should include platform, content type, hook line, body copy, CTA, and hashtags. Brand voice. Now you can change this, right? Energetic, approachable, results focused. I might say for this one, we could say empathetic, approachable, understanding, results focused, business type. And this is not for local businesses using JourneyBuilder. This is a coaching for midlife women. Okay. All right. Now, I've talked about this a lot too. Claude has many models. They keep upgrading models. It's like the AI arms race, right? Claude will update, and then ChatGPT will update, and then Gemini will update, and then, something, the other ones will update, right? They're all updating all the time. So I do like Opus 4.7 for deep work. It's not necessary for what we're about to do. Sonnet is perfect. 4.6, perfect. There are other models, right, that you can get. Usually the higher number, the more advanced they are, but sometimes they release something and you're like, it's not as good as the last model. I love Opus, but I'm going to use Sonnet 4.6 for here. Okay. It's kind of our good all around tool for what we're trying to do. And I'm going to go ahead and we're going to generate that. And Claude is pretty fast, but let me come back and see if I got any questions. Sarah, your infographic failed 2 times. Well, I'll tell you why your infographic failed 2 times. I'll tell you exactly why. It's because you're trying to build an infographic instead of paying 100% attention to everything I'm showing on the screen. And you know me, Sarah, so I felt like I had the liberty to joke with you like that. So, oh, it's failing. Okay. Interesting. So I'll come back to that. I'm not sure why the infographic would be failing. But I'll come back. It looked like mine went through when I did it, but I'm going to be going back to Notebook LM to show that content in just a little bit. So we'll take a look at that. All right. Guilty. Sarah says guilty. I love it when you guys are doers, not just watchers, right? I love it when you take action and do these things. All right. So here we go. 5 platform ready posts. Instagram, carousel. Your doctor probably never told you this about menopause and it's changing everything. That's a good hook. It's a really good hook. Okay. Sarah, you may have hogged all the juice. Possibly. That's comment needs to go up on screen. I may have hogged all the juice and that's why everybody else's infographics are failing. I hope not. Google's architecture is way better than to allow one person at a time to generate infographics, but that's funny. All right. Body copy. For decades, hormone therapy was treated like something to fear, but 2026 FDA guideline, blah, 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 blah. This is great. HRT. By the way, Amy, because you were my lucky winner and the person that I picked to do this today, I will give you all of this. Just let me know. I'll copy it and we'll get it over to you. Okay. I'll email it to you. Okay. I always try to give value on every webinar that we do. If you love these posts, they're yours. I will gladly. I can actually share this chat with you publicly. Probably the easiest way to do it so that you have the content. All right. So here we go. So it created 5 posts and it looks like we've got a Instagram, a Facebook, then we've got a TikTok for Reels. So this one's going to be a talking head video post. Okay. You're welcome, Amy. So this one you'd actually want to, you'd still put the body copy in here, but you're going to want to create a video for this one, obviously for TikTok. LinkedIn, you do that. I love these. I love these. And then more Facebook and Instagram, quote graphic. Okay. All right. So now we've used Perplexity to get our research, pulled it into Notebook LM. We synthesized that research and we created a couple of pieces of content that we're going to go back and look at, right? We could create a whole bunch more, but we're going to go back and look at some of those. And now we've taken a brief of all of our sources, brought it into Claude because Claude understands, and Claude is a great, really good writer for these things. If you give it the data, it usually puts out good data. Now, I had a little bit of an argument yesterday. It was not really an argument, but I stated an opinion to my copywriter, Heather, who's on the webinar right now. And I told her how much I don't like the M dashes or EM dashes, right? I think they are called M dashes. I could care less. I don't really love them, but she does like them. And I'm like, yeah, but AI uses them a lot, right? Like you'll see that these long dashes are everywhere in AI content. So sometimes I tell AI, don't put very many M dashes in my copy because it's like a dead giveaway. It's AI. No, everybody's using AI for writing copy anyway, but you might have your own little quirks and things and styles that you want to write with. Give that to Claude as well. Just a little bonus tip there. Okay. So what's cool about these though, if I go back to the first one, is you'll see that it gives you the platform specificity. Easy for me to say, not really. It gives you a great hook. I mean, I love this hook. right? And if this was on a Facebook ad, right, and like the headline underneath, like that's probably going to get a click. Now, clicks are cool. Vanity metric clicks are great. But if the clicks turn to deeper views of your content, then that's actually really good. Body copy, a call to action, tell them what to do, save this post, bring it to your next appointment, drop the hand raised below if no one has ever talked to you about this, right? And then some hashtags that you can use. Okay, now we know the Instagram is a hashtag platform. TikTok is very much a hashtag platform. Facebook, not so much, although you can use them. I would, and it's gotten better over the years, but I think they put hashtags out first. Loneliness isn't just painful. For midlife women, it can be deadly, and nobody's talking about it. I mean, these are powerful hooks, okay? So it structured each one the same way. Platform hook, body copy, CTA, hashtags for every platform, okay? That is part of the system at work. If you had to do that every time you went in to create something, like you drive yourself crazy. So if you use that prompt I gave you and tweak it, you'll get the system. It's part of the assembly line, right? Now, let's do this though. Let's say we don't love the last one here. Midlife isn't a crisis, it's a recalibration. Right? Maybe we didn't really love that. And I'm going to paste in something. And all right. And I'm going to copy something here. I'm going to paste it in and I'm going to tweak it. About a woman who struggled with perimenopause. Yeah. Did I just describe every midlife woman? Don't everybody? I know. Anyway, sorry guys. I'm having fun with this topic today. When I woke up this morning, I did not have talking about perimenopause at my webinar on my bingo card for today. So this is great. All right, but and I don't want rewrite post number 2. It was 5, right? So let's just rewrite this one. Let's say we didn't love one of these posts. Okay, fair. Sometimes we don't really love it. It is optimized for reach and shareability, but we're gonna just have it rewrite post number 5. Sarah thought she was falling apart. Oh, sorry. They had to use Sarah's name too. Sarah. Oh gosh. See, now I'm picking on you. Claude's picking on you. It heard you. It heard you working and not listening to me. And now it's picking on you. Sarah thought she was falling apart. Turns out she was just getting started. All right. Here you go. Whole bunch of body copy. Good. Tells a story. People love stories. Now you might really have a story and you might want to anonymize that story. You could put that in. You could tell it. You could say, hey, I want to rewrite this one. I want to talk about this, right? And then, if any part of Sarah's story sounded uncomfortably familiar, you're not broken and you're not alone, drop map in the comments. I'll personally reach out or click the link in the bio to take the first step, right? Now you can see here, swap in a real client with permission or your own experience for maximum authenticity and engagement. First person founder stories consistently outperform third person narratives by 2 to 3 times on organic reach. Really good copywriting note. Thank you, Claude, for that. Okay. I hope you're all with me so far. So this is part 3 of our assembly line, right? Tool 4. Now Marina's on here. She called it out before. This is what I like, right? And this is why Claude is the strategist, right? It's structuring everything. So each of these 5 posts is really right now ready to schedule, but we need the visuals to go with them, right? And that's Gemini's job. My favorite name of any tool is Nano Banana, right? So we're going to use Nano Banana. All right. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take a prompt. I'm going into, if you guys, it's just gemini.google.com is how you use Nano Banana. It's the image creation tool inside of Gemini's, nicknamed Nano Banana. I'm going to say create image. I'm not going to do anything with any of these styles unless I wanted one of those styles. I'm I'm actually just going to describe the image. So here's the way I do this. I actually use this prompt. Right now, this is going to have my colors on it. Amy, you would want to put your colors in here. But based on the social media post copy below, describe a visual concept for, oops, hold on. Not sharing. Sorry. I don't know if everybody told me I wasn't sharing. But anyway, yeah. So here we go. Yeah. Boo M dashes, Matt Donaldson. I agree. Boo M dashes. Okay. My wife will thank me one day. Right. Love it. I love it. That's actually a funny comment too. I'll point that out for her. Okay. Now that I know everything about perimenopause, not true, of course. All right. Based on social media posts below, describe visual concept, subject matter, text overlay suggestions, overall mood, format as a creative brief for graphic designer. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take the Claude posts. I'm going to start with number 1. Now you could take a couple of them, right? And ask that same prompt, right? But I'm just going to copy one of them. Yeah, because you could describe a visual concept for each post. So you could take all 5 or 2, right? But what we're going to do, because we're going to get a creative brief for this one, for this post, right? And then I'm going to just paste in the exact thing that Claude gave us, right? So we've got post 1, platform, Instagram, carousel, educational, your doctor probably, right? The whole thing, right? And I'm going to go ahead and send it to Gemini. Actually, you know what? I forgot. This is the first step, is not create the image. So let's turn this off real quick. Okay. And we're going to just do this because this is the brief for a graphic designer. So I'm going to submit that. Then I want to create the image. Oh, it might create the image anyway. Let's see. Because I had clicked it and I didn't refresh, it might still create the image, which may work. You could do it. If it doesn't give you the brief, it might just give you the image with no text overlay, which sometimes works out better. But the reason we're using Gemini for images, it's the best. I think it's the best. It's the best at character consistency. It's the best at text accuracy. I know that ChatGPT recently released image creation, like a new updated one. They've done image creation for a long time, but they released an updated one that's apparently really good. But I don't think it can do this good of a job. So let's see. Here's an image. Your doctor probably never told you this about menopause, and it's changing everything. The fear and the change, the old fear, hormone therapy, no, decades of misinformation concern, blah, 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 reality and recovery, research now confirms starting HRT within 10 years, blah, 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 all cause mortality. Here we go. I knew I'd find one because I was talking about how it's perfect with text, and you have to read it because it could happen, right? And then why I don't want that on there. You are not alone, yet more than 80% of women with symptoms never bring it up. Suffering quiet. Okay, take action, save this post, bring it to your next point. So it created the image, and it did a great job. So even just from that prompt, even though we wanted a creative brief, the fact that we got the image is not a bad thing. I would say this lower left corner that says "Reality not alone." Okay, so what you can do is, what you can do is you can have it redo it, but that's going to really redo it. If you tell it that, I don't think you can do it here. Redo with Pro. Listen, no, I would, what I like to do is I'll just say, image is great. Lower left image or corner of image has a misspelling. It should be really not alone. But it looks like it says reality. Really not alone. I guess I should have put that all in quotes. So sometimes you have to finesse it. Normally it gets text right. This is a lot of text. It's a lot of text on this image, right? And you could even say, I don't want a lot of text. Okay. Please fix. Right. Now, sometimes Marion says gave it the accurate spellings and it still didn't change it. Sometimes it's not going to do it right. If you have the ability to use pro down here instead of fast, pro is going to often do a better job. Yeah, wait, what determines when Claude provides copywriting note? I didn't get that note when used your prompt. Interesting. I think the question, I'm not sure. I didn't get that note when used your prompt. Avanice, I'm not sure I understand the question. Okay, so it changed it to you are not alone instead of really. I didn't tell it to make it say really. So there's 2 you are not alones. This is good though. This is good, right? So I would definitely use this, and then you can click on it and download the full size. I will say one thing, be careful when you download the full size image in Gemini. What it often will do is it'll create a JFIF format file, which is really a JPEG format, which is, .jpg, but the JFIF is it's like a better quality image. Facebook uses them a lot too now, but sometimes you can't upload them places and you have to convert them. There are free converters, but I would just download it as it is. It's still technically a JPEG image. It's just a different extension. The JPG file formats are a little smaller. So you would just download the image. Oops, I didn't save it to my downloads. Let me download this right now. Avanice, I think, yeah, the copywriting note, I'm not sure. I'd have to, I don't really understand the question. If you put in what I put in, you would get it. Sarah got a PNG for her image. Okay, so are you on it might be the version of Gemini you're using. That could be. You might get a higher limit on Pro or Ultra than on the light mode. That could be. I'd have to Google it, and I'd have to ask AI. Yeah, but I think when I asked to create the note, give me a bunch of info, which I couldn't use. Interesting. One of the things that I do also in this step, sometimes I just say, when I'm in Claude, let me come back over to Claude. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll say, for each of these posts, create the image creation prompt I can use in Gemini as well. Okay. If you do that, what's really cool about it is then you can just paste that right into Gemini, click create image, and have it generate. Right. So here's a Gemini prompt. Okay. So for the first one that we did, I could actually see it's optimized for Instagram. And now I can just copy this back into Gemini. Okay. And I'm just going to say, let's use this to create the image for this post. Maybe you don't like the cartoony drawn ones, right? So maybe you want something a little more photorealistic too. Okay. And then you click create image. Okay. And we submit that. And now we'll see if this gives us a better image for Instagram. All right. Because the other one did have a lot of text on it too. So you might not always want all that text. Now we're an hour into this webinar. I talk a lot and I'm showing you guys and demonstrating and explaining things through. But think about if we just really cut out the parts and just did the searches and the content, how fast you could have had this done. So we've got 5 posts that we're just about done with, right? Did it really just give me the whole creative brief now? All right, now it's just messing with me today. That's totally just messing with me now. All right, I'm going to copy this. I'm going to try it again. The first prompt I gave, it said create a creative brief, and it created the image. And then when I say create the image, it's giving me a creative brief. So Gemini's messing with me right now. Hopefully this time it'll create the image using that brief. By the way, I'll give you guys a quick tip. I actually have a gem, which is like a custom thing, like a custom GPT, okay, that I made for my Jay the AI guy visuals. If you guys see my little cartoony Jay the AI guy around, I create my images in that gem, which is a reusable set of instructions that I can just go in and build images on, right? So I could say, have Jay the AI guy talk to the woman that's going through menopause, right? But here you go. So this is an image you could use instead of this one, right? So maybe you just want, or maybe you want to try both and see which one does better. But this is a good image, right? AI generated, looks real. It's using the rules that I just gave it, right? So sometimes you have to play around with it, right? Think about this though. You can create 10 or 15 variations in like 5 or 10 minutes. So if the first one you don't get is right, don't say AI sucks or this tool sucks. Learn what it's doing and play with it and generate more. Because if you tried to go create 10 to 15 images in Photoshop, Canva, Crello, Vista Create, whatever tool you're using, and you tried to create these images, first of all, you have to format everything. Just that alone is going to take you the time. So think about how much time you saved, right? So sometimes just to play around, sometimes Gemini messes with you and they create creative briefs when you ask for images and images when you ask for creative briefs. So then you could just take this, download full size. All right, it's loading, it's loading, it's loading. Here we go. And I'll save that one as well. Oh, it's my Notebook LM assets. Okay, so now I'm going to flip back over to Notebook LM because now what we've got, and I didn't generate all the images, but we got 5 posts, and assuming we would also have the 5 images created with that. We also have the suggestion for the TikTok, so we could make our video. But you could use AI to make your video too. If you use something like HeyGen, which we've talked about in the past, you could actually make an AI video, or you could just pick up your phone and record a little video like, hey, you got to read this comment, maybe use the hook, right, in your video, and then talk about it, or send somebody, tell people to comment, and you'll send them more information, right? But now if I come back over to Notebook LM, this is the part that blows everybody's minds all the time, right? We're going to come back. Hold on, I'm going in my notes here, right? So one of the things I remember, if you remember, we took all the sources from Perplexity and we put them in here, and I created some other content like infographics. Let's see if mine worked. Here we go. So way back when, in step 2, Notebook LM created this image that we can use. And if you look through it, I don't see any spelling or Russian hieroglyphics. Everything looks great on that image, right? So Midlife Prime, the 2026 Women's Health Revolution. So this is an overall infographic you can use on social media. Another piece of content. So now we have our 5 posts with the 5 images. We've got an infographic, right? So that's 6 pieces of content. We're not done. Remember I took the note and I turned that into the modern Renaissance one? There's an infographic just on that particular section. So that's our 7th piece of content, but one that's very niche focused onto the care, the technology, right, that we focused on here. FDA removes HRT black box warnings, 10-year window for longevity, synergistic metabolic management, wearables, diagnostic AI, right? And these are good. So there's 7 pieces of content that you could put. And this can go on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, if you might need to do a little bit of, might need to tell it to do it like a square image or try to put some spacing around it. Yeah, so that's 7, right? Then we get some more fun. Listen to this, guys. If you remember, we've shown this before. You've got a podcast about your content. You ready?
Imagine spending like 40% of your life dealing with this massive biological shift, but you don't even seek help because of a terrifying warning label.
Right. A label on literally the one treatment that actually works.
Exactly. So today we are doing a deep dive into the Midlife Prime 2026 Women's Health and Longevity Manual. We want to give you the hard facts on how clinical guidelines are, well, radically reframing midlife for women in their 40s to 60s. Our mission here is to...
Okay, so we've got a podcast that is AI generated, made up by 2 AI people, that we can post the audio file. We could even use it to post or use it as narrative for a video creation, or you just put it on your website. But that sounds very, very real, like 2 people actually talking. One of my favorite things. Sarah, thank you. But check this out. I'm going to go even one step further. This is mostly just for you guys, not for your audience. So this is just kind of for you to play around with. I just think it's a cool feature of Notebook LM, and I would be remiss if I didn't talk about it real quick. You can actually pretend that it's a call-in radio show. Watch this.
To separate biology from myth for you.
See this join button
here? It
here?
is so needed.
Watch this.
Because the landscape has completely...
Oh, hey, welcome. What's up?
Hey, thanks for letting me ask a quick question. I was looking to see what are some of the wearables that women can get, and things to manage their symptoms.
Oh, we are so glad you asked that. The tech side of this is actually exploding right now.
It is like a whole new world of tools. What is at the top of your list?
Well, the Oura Ring is a big one. It has a specific perimenopause check-in feature.
Right. It tracks those tiny temperature shifts that usually go unnoticed.
Exactly. And for hot flashes, there is a wearable called the Ember Wave.
I remember seeing that. It is like a little thermal thermostat for your wrist, right?
So not only did I just join it, ask it a question, the AI podcasters stop, pivot, recognize me, answer my question, and when they're done answering my question about the wearables, they would just continue back on with the podcast. And you can download the audio overview and use that in any of your social media platforms. So John, you said, can you generate this into an audio file? Absolutely. If I click on download it, whoops. Dang, it opens up a, let me see what, I think it's an MP3. No, it's an actual M4A file, M4A audio file, which is an MPEG audio, not a video, but it's just a different type of audio format, right? Okay, so video, yeah. So you can't generate that into a video. There are video generators you can use where you take that audio and say, create a video for me from this, okay, from the audio. But here's the other thing you can do. And I should have started this earlier. You'll notice here, you also have video overview in Notebook LM. Okay, so you can click it. Now, you might not have cinematic. You probably won't unless you're paying Google a lot of money. But you get an explainer and brief. So you can do a brief. You could say, I want this style to be custom, and we want to make it photorealistic. right? And it's just really going to be an overview. It's not going to be the same AI hosts having the same conversation. It's going to generate, and we want to talk about, let's just talk about the wearables devices for menopausal women. Okay. And we're going to generate this. We're going to do tech focus. Okay. Generate. Okay. Now it's going to generate that. And that's going to take a little bit of while, It's going to take a little while or a little bit of time. And it's going to generate a video overview. And before we wrap up, I should have it because I didn't do the cinematic. The cinematic it takes like 30 minutes to generate a video. And I don't even think it's that much better. But this is a really cool thing that you can do. And you can download that and share that on YouTube, on your website, on social media. Again, so that's 9 pieces of content. And we could keep going. We could create multiple of these. We can create a slide deck. If you want to create a slide deck that you can embed on your site, share, you can do that in Notebook LM. So between Perplexity to get the information, Notebook LM to synthesize that information and start giving you really deep content about the information, right? Notebook LM is by far, hands and away, the most impressive tool inside of a business, because I haven't even talked about how you can really use it to organize and run and systemize your entire business, which is something I'm actually getting ready to write a book on, and I've got a framework about, and I'm speaking all over the place about it. So yeah, Avanice said build an engagement using quiz from the content. I could take out this one and keep that one source where we asked that last little part. I can go in here and I can create a quiz. I want a few easy quiz on 10 questions on wearable technology for women in 2026. Okay, and I can generate. Right, so it's going to generate a quiz, right, that you can share. Actually, I think on the quizzes, I don't know what they share as. I don't know. You might have to still create those. I'd have to check. I don't know if the quizzes, I don't talk about them too much. You could do flashcards. So here's something. I don't want to go back. I've done many workshops on Notebook LM, and I'm going to be doing many more. But one of the cool things about Notebook LM is it can help you so much in your, not just your professional life, but your personal life. My daughter this week was studying she was doing a thing on the solar system, right? So you guys know what the solar system is. She's 10. She's learning about the solar system. I almost started explaining to you guys the solar system. That would have been really, really weird and awkward. Yeah, so she's got this quiz, right? So I took her study guide that the teachers gave, and I took pictures of each page in her little guide, and I uploaded them all into a notebook. I'll show you it real quick. Outer Space for Mackenzie, right here, May 6th. I just did this, right? I put 9 sources. They were just pictures, okay? Each image. And I created an explainer video, an audio file, some infographics, right? Space Adventure, Our Amazing Universe, right? Use it with your kids. I could create a quiz too, but I didn't do that. Use it with your kids. Use it in your work. Use it however you want. Guys, if you have a Gmail account, Notebook LM is free, by the way. I mean, there's some advanced things on the paid plans, but you could do almost all of this for free. Let me go back to our Midlife Women workshop here. The menopause quiz is done. So if I open it up here, according to 2026 data, what level of lab accuracy has the Oura Ring achieved in its temperature tracking for perimenopause? Let's say 99%. It can also give me a hint. I'm right? And I can explain it, and it'll chat with the material in real time. I can go next, right? Let's see how much I know. Well, let's not see how much I know. And then with the quiz, I think with the quiz, I don't know if you guys can see the quiz or share the quiz with people, because Notebook LM is locked down to just you. Okay. So the trick with the trick with Notebook LM, the reason why I love it is Google doesn't use it to train the Gemini models. It's what you put in your notebooks is only available to you. I cannot share this notebook with Amy. I can't just share my notebook with her. I can click share. I can look right there. I can only add people at jvimobile.com, right? It's internal to my Google Workspace organization. So if you have a Gmail account, you can't share your notebook, but the content you create from the notebook, like this infographics and the audio files, all that, you can actually download that and then use it on social media and share it. Right? I hope that makes sense. Okay. Yes. Very awesome. Very, very awesome. All right. And it looks like it's still doing the video. So maybe I'll come back to that. Let me just go back to my notes. I think I've got everything here. So yeah, so you can create study guides, FAQs. Here's another one. FAQs, create FAQs, the top questions your audience has about a topic, output that, right? Create your FAQs. You can just search and chat with it. And I need FAQs for the web page I'm going to make about this topic, right? And just chat with it, right? I think you can also do it in reports. You could say do an FAQ or create FAQs with answers, right? I believe you can. I think if you just say create your own, you can say I want a list of questions and answers. You could also just do it here, create an FAQ for my website. All right, and it will do it. And then you can just copy and paste that and put it into your website. Right? And Amy knows building a website is so simple with AI. All right. It still didn't finish the video. Videos do take a while for John. If it comes up, I'll share it with you. All right. So I really want you guys to be playing with this. Think about this though. Here's what I really want you to focus on here. You guys should take these posts and go into your social media content scheduling tool. If you don't have one, there's a QR code in the upper left of the corner. You can get a 30-day trial to JourneyBuilder, which is our platform. And it's after the 30 days, it's $97 a month. And if you want us to set it up, it's $297. But it's one time. But it's $97 a month. But you can use it for 30 days to try it. If you have your own social media post scheduler, go and you load these posts right in there. Copy it in, upload your documents, schedule it to go out on social media so that you can pre-schedule inside JourneyBuilder or inside your tool, whether that's Hootsuite, Buffer, I don't know what tools are popular now. We just use JourneyBuilder. You can take this strategy and turn it into an email, right? And then load in some of your social images or your infographics into that email. You can load in the video. Also, what if you took the notebook? Here's the FAQs, by the way, frequently asked questions here. Okay. It gave me several. Okay. You could also take that briefing doc, go over to Claude, and you could say, create a blog post based on this topic, optimized for the top tech in midlife women's health. All right. It's probably terrible. I'm just doing it faster, but you could create the blog post about it. Here's another thing you could do. I'm not going to generate the blog post. Here's another thing you can do. Create a lead magnet, right? Based on this topic, or give me some lead magnet ideas, and then have it create the lead magnet that you can just download. What I would do there is you go to Opus 4.7. It'll create the whole PDF in your brand, download it, put it on your website, gate it with an email address, give it away, or just give it away. I would exchange for email addresses, lead magnet, right? So you get a whole this whole thing that we did that started with that perplexity search in 1 hour and 50 or 1 hour and 24 minutes, you got an entire slew of content that you can create. If you just do those steps, you've created an entire factory, an entire assembly line. And then of course, you know, I love using JourneyBuilder here for the AI website, because you can just say, I want to build a website about, or a landing page based on wearable tech for menopausal women, and it will create that. Or you can go into your social planner, which we have built in, and you can create a new post, and then upload your posts and schedule them to go out, so that all those 9, 10, 12, 15 pieces of content that you just created, well, now you've got, you know, content for a couple of weeks, and then you could do it once a month or do it once every 2 weeks, and you've got an entire assembly line of content. So yeah. All right. Awesome. Really insightful. Great session. Thank you guys. Next week, we are going a little deeper into Claude. You guys have seen me reference Claude a few times here today. Okay. Claude is kind of where I go to for a lot of things. I write some code in it. We keep things in projects, which is the way that we can isolate them. I'm going to just show you some of the best ways to use Claude as your strategy partner. That's going to be next week. Amy said, thank you. A good sport. I appreciate it. RC just posted the link to the webinar right in the comments. So you should have that now if you want to register. Guys, the registration link is different every week. We track who's registering for what webinars. I don't think anybody's going to catch a D. You guys can try, but I think D's been the best. Hey, maybe Avanice has been up there, is awesome. Avanice, thank you. Great value as usual. God bless you. God bless you. But yeah, register. You'll notice that the link is always almost the same. It's just that last little part of the link, watch-5-15-2026. So if you ever wonder what that link was, and you have the previous one in your browser, just change the date. I don't use zeros before the month either. So it'd always be like 5- like today was just 5-8, 5-15-2026, right? So you guys get that. Thank you guys so much. Look, let's show the final results of our poll. We've got a tie. And then Gemini was right behind. So it looks like you guys like using all these tools, and I love that. Keep using them. If you guys have more questions, ask me. If you guys want to try JourneyBuilder 30 days free, we'll help you build a website, or we'll help you start setting up your CRM or giving you the info. We will be happy to do that for you. It's right up here in the upper left corner. You can scan that QR code, which will be up for about another 5 seconds. Thank you so much for joining. I can't wait to see you again next Friday. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. God bless. And let us know if there's anything we can do for you. We'll talk soon. Cheers, everybody.